Purpose Inspired TV is under construction. During this process, we invite you to step into the journey. By joining our team, you have the chance to shape the very fabric of this channel with your creative ideas and skills. We believe that the true essence of innovation lies in collaboration, and together, we can create something truly extraordinary. We will provide content that ignites your passion, inspires personal growth, and encourages a positive impact on society. Our focus is on delivering shows that are entertaining, thought-provoking, educational, and uplifting. We want to hear your voice, your vision, and your recommendations for individuals you would love to see on our channel. We aim to create a channel that resonates deeply with viewers, challenging them to think bigger, dream bolder, and live a life of purpose. So, join us today, and together, we can make a difference, one viewer, one show, and one purpose at a time.
She Got the Nerve, by Felisa Darius Skipper. This book is fictional, but factual. Based on my personal life experiences, She Got the Nerve delves into Lila's astonishing journey with wisdom, compassion, and boldness, providing inspiring insights into her mindset and the spirituality that propelled her to become who she is today. Surrounded by drug use and constantly hurt and neglected by her parents, Layla is left alone to suffer a world of sexual abuse, religious ruse, and relationship violence. Through the worst of times, Layla learns to rise above the dangerous lifestyle of the streets she grew up on by allowing the love and guidance of Christ into her life. Looking for a book that takes you on a thrilling emotional roller coaster ride? Well, look no further. She Got the Nerve is the book that will captivate you from start to finish. Get your copy today.
All right. What's up, everybody? I pray everybody is doing well. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Let me see if I can get this thing going, working on something. Everybody doing all right? Let's see here. Still not working. I'm sorry. I got my test. Okay. All righty. Tonight. So I'm gonna do that. I have a great show for you. Last night we had a great discussion. I was teaching on the different words, like the government, different words that we're starting to see a lot of these days. So I went through them and had a lot of feedback. A lot of people was very interested in it. So I thought I would jump into it again. Well, really, I was going to talk about this one subject on a rant. I was going to make this real short rant and came up with a whole show. So here we go. We're going to get started. Today we are talking about tariffs. Shots fired. Say it again. Shots fired. The tariff war has begun. You probably did not see it coming. I know a lot of us didn't see it coming. So we are in the midst of a tariff war. Do y'all know what a TARF? You know what a TARF is. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. A lot of different things that's dealing with international commerce. So shots fired, shots fired. You know what? America has just launched a trade war, but not just against one country, but against the entire world. Y'all heard on the news. Every country, even if you didn't have any people on the island, there's a tariff against you. We fired off tariffs like warning shots, hitting both our friends and our foes. So I guess he didn't care. Didn't care who. Everybody getting tariff. Well, actually, not our enemies. So there were some enemies that were strangely left off that list. We targeted our allies. Even more than that, our real rivals, we didn't bother. So hey, what's new? It's strange for that to happen, for us to not to say anything, do anything to our enemies. But one of our biggest targets, well, not targets, but one of our biggest trade partners in the world is China, and we are in a trade war with them. One of our largest partners, and they got hit hard. So we're talking about tariffs over 100%. I think 130, 140% tariffs. I mean, this is unbelievable about the amount of tariffs. So that means if you don't know what 100% tariff is, or 200%, that means if you pay something, you order something, especially a business owner, if you order something and the price of it is $100, and they put a 100% tariff on it, that means you have to pay $200. And then if they put a 200% tariff on it, that means you have to pay $300. So it's not them that's paying it, it's you. So that means a 200% tariff means the product's price has just tripled. It just went up threefold. So how did China respond? Did they flinch? Did they get nervous and say mercy? Nope. They stood still. They stayed calm and they stayed ready. But some countries did fold. Some sound like from the White House that they came back begging for mercy, but not China. They hit back. They hit back even with their own. They start off with their own tariffs. And when we raised the stakes against China, China came back with something even smarter. They had a targeted plan. I don't believe we really had a plan. We just went out there shooting in all directions, but they had a particular plan that they are working out right now. So here are the major three things that China did. Though I know there's more than just three, but here's like the three things that they did to retaliate about the tariffs. So number one, they picked Republican states. So instead of like harming the entire country, China decided, hey, we're going to be precise with this. We're going to be precise on our response. So what they did, they started targeting just Republican states. I guess certain Republican states, I know her in Louisiana, for one, but some places they send beef and different items over to China. So they targeted those countries, those states, and put a tariff on those products instead of trying to punish the entire country. So you see, they try to be more precise with their response. So China chose to hit products coming from, like I said, majority Republican states. So the same states that pushed hard for the the trade war. So they're going against those states. That's why they avoid hurting innocent Americans, and they still are fighting back. So, like I said, China is trying to be not just smart; they're trying to be surgical in their response, not just like that willy-nilly putting a tariff on everybody. So, the second thing they did, we're talking about. So the first thing, they put the tariffs on particular states, and then the second thing that they decided to do was green light counterfeiting. I mean, they are allowing counterfeiting. So what they would do in the past, they try to look out for the United States. That the government, there's I say hardcore government. They take control. They have control of just about everything in the country. So they could find out about any kind of counterfeiting that was going on, and they would put a stop to it. So now that this trade war is going on, they like took off the gloves. Like, nope, we're not going to help you. We're not going to stop the counterfeiting. So it's no telling what will happen now. So for years, the Chinese government, they worked hard. They worked on United States side to stop counterfeiting. They're like, nope. So now they said, if the U.S. is not looking out for China, China will not look out for the U.S. That's just what it is. They're not looking out for them, so they're not going to stop the counterfeiting. So that is a big move. That sends a big, clear message that we're not going to play this game, or we're playing another game with different rules. So that's powerful. So that there's we always find a lot of counterfeit stuff that made it here to America. But imagine what China was stopping. So what was China preventing from coming before? But now they're saying the gloves are off. We're not going to stop the counterfeit products coming to America. So that's two things. So they're striking back with the Republican states. And then the second thing they're doing, they are not allowing, I'm sorry, not allowing, they're not going to stop the production of the counterfeits. So number 3, and I think this is one of the biggest thing, and it's not even, some of it is the government, but it's a lot of business owners. Have any of you noticed, like on your TikTok, and I think it's most of them on TikTok, probably those types of apps, you see a lot of Chinese business owners, a lot of manufacturers owners, they're getting on TikTok talking to you. Have you seen that uptick? It's like every other video now. I was like, where do these people come from? They hadn't, I hadn't seen them before, but they have exploded and all over the social media now. So what are they doing? They're doing two things, but the biggest one that they're doing, it is exposing American brands. They are exposing the American brands. They are just letting out all the tea. While this was going on, U.S. officials called Chinese workers peasants. Well, those so-called peasants, they clapped back. They didn't take too lightly of being called peasants. So those peasants are showing you what peasants can do. So the Chinese manufacturers started spilling the tea online. So all those ads and videos and TikToks they're talking about, they've started exposing luxury brands that get made cheaply in China. And then they sent to America, they sent to Italy, sent to all these different places and relabeled. And then they can sell them high-end, sell them as high-end products. And some of these products can be marked up 1,000, even more than 1,000% from what they paid for. So 1,000%. So that's a big product margin. So they're getting this stuff for a few dollars. They're getting it made for a few dollars, and then they turn around and putting $1,000 price tag on it. So China is like saying, look, so know that expensive stuff that you were paying for, you think is exclusive, you think is rare, is made right here in China. So they are releasing the names of the different companies. They are letting people know what was made in China and pretend to be made somewhere else. That is a game changer. So I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of products that you can buy. It's called with no label, no label and no brand. You know, a lot of products are made in the same warehouse, the same product, same warehouse, just shipped to different places, and then they put different labels on them, different brandings. And when they put that branding on it, that's what really shoots the price up. And that's where a lot of these corporations, different businesses, that's where they make a lot of their money with the markups. So they make billions, billions with a B, probably even a T, trillions over time. I guarantee they made trillions of dollars over just taking a cheap product and putting somebody else's name up there and jack the price up, and became extremely rich from doing that. So that's what China is now telling people. That's what they have going on. So they're constantly having these videos and showing you that you can cut out the middleman and come get it from them. You know, it's even better. Those same workers are showing Americans how to buy directly from them, skipping the brand names. But some people are um, attached to the brand names. You know, I think we're kind of brainwashed to, you know, where I say here in America. Well, I think a lot of parts of the world, you feel like you have this particular status because you have this name brand, and then different brands, they're more expensive than others. So now you able to put somebody's name or somebody's logo on your body and kind of brag that you're wearing that person's branded clothes. But you basically, I'm paying these people to allow me to wear their clothes for them. So that's what it's all boiled down to. So if you really are looking for the product, that's what China is saying. If you forget the brand and look for a quality, whatever item that you're looking for, you can go straight to the manufacturer. And they were saying that you can avoid the tariffs. So imagine the way the process worked is like a company, they got a particular bag they want to sell here in America. They go order 50,000 of them, and without the labels. So when those 50,000 gets coming to, get rid, they pay for them at first. Now, with the tariffs, when those 50,000 products come to America, that's when the tariffs is attached to it. But I guess the only good thing about it, if there's no brands up there, I just thought about that right then. If they're bringing in a $10 purse that's not branded, they just have to pay tariffs on that $10. And then when they get it in the United States, then they can go put the brand on it and then raise the price to $1,000. So that's still good. They're still doing good going that route. But another route, if they are bringing products in with the big, the wholesale price, that's a lot of money. So either way, so the companies have to deal with that. So what those videos on TikTok are saying is there's a way for the ordinary Joe, the ordinary person in America, and probably other countries too, but mainly in America, we're the ones that's putting on those tariffs. Is a way to avoid the tariffs. So that's one thing they're doing. And then avoid paying those extremely 1,000% interest on different products. So yeah, there's something that you won't even, even tennis shoes, different things like that. And some of those that they can't take the brand off. It's part of it. I've seen some of those too, where the brand is part of it, but they're still selling them to average people at, direct to warehouse. So that's one way that what their plan was to bypass the tariffs by going this route. And so that's really trying to help the American people out. I guess it still helps them. Products are still going out, but they don't have to pay the tariffs. It's the Americans when the products come to America, that's when the tariffs has to be paid. So they keep saying that Americans will not get taxed, but Americans does not have to pay for the tariffs. 100%. The United States have to pay for the tariff. That's where it's paid. So we don't pay. It's like if I'm ordering a car from Japan and I have to pay a tariff on it, I'm not giving that tariff. Well, I'm saying me. Yeah, when that car comes, that person that's the company that's selling the car, all they want is their, let's say, selling a product for $1,000. All they want is that $1,000, and they shipping their product. But then when it gets to the United States, now it's time to pay up for the tariff. And the person has to pay for it is the person that's receiving it, not the sender. So the person that's receiving it is the American people. And it starts off with the company. So they have to pay for it first to get into the United States. Then they have to decide, are they going to eat that extra money up and keep it to themselves, or are they going to spread the loss to the customers? Some people, their prices are marked up so high that they are able to absorb the tariff, but then some people are not. The tariff is cut into their their profit margin. So the tariff could just totally eat up the profit, and then they make no profit. So it depends on the company. A lot of times it depends on the size of the company. I guess as you know that the tariff has been tweaked a little bit to where some big ticket items like computers and TVs and different things, they walk back on that tariff. I believe it's because some of these corporations, these businesses, that's going to be hurting them. So to keep from hurting them, they got a relief. But looking at hurting the American people, seems like nobody really cared. If it hurts the American people, they just said just deal with it for a little while. Okay, tariffs. So here's the real deal. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy markup sometimes, but you might feel it. Sometimes you don't. So let's look at the facts. For the last 40 years or more, both United States and China, they both made a lot of money off of trade. They've made a lot of money off of each other. But there is a difference between the money made in America and the money made in China. So here in the United States, companies got rich, stashing the money, avoiding taxes, and forgot about the people. So I'm saying? So yeah, I just no, like I said, 40 years, I guess, in the 70s and 80s, where China opened up and allowed foreigners in the United States to come over there. Oh, sorry about that. So United States went to China. Hey, they got all those people. So the labor cost is way lower than here in America. So some were legit and some were greedy. It's like the only way to compete with the global market, we have to figure and find a place where we can have this lowest the lowest employee rate as possible, and that was China. So I believe with the backing of the United States government and a lot of the corporations, they say, hey, the way that we can make bigger profit is to move our warehouses over to China and over to other countries to lower the employee rate. So that's what they did. And so now, instead of having, the product that you're selling in America, instead of taking a nice chunk out of that to pay your employees, you just pay a smaller chunk to your employees in another country. And then you get the product cheap, come back to America, and then you put that premium price right back on your product as if you were going to pay the American people that higher price. They didn't. They just pocketed the money and they became rich and richer by doing it that way. So they squashed and kept the um, you know kept the employees overseas, not paying them well or as much as they could. And then in the United States, a lot of people, they lost jobs who have been faithful and working at different business industries for years. And then, um, like I said, they brought the product back and just boosted it up. And then they found as many loopholes as they possibly could to prevent from paying taxes. So now these corporations are getting rich off the backs of foreigners, and then they bring a cheap product that they got a cheap product, but then they bring it back and put a premium price on it, and to then get the American people to drain their wallets to buy this product that didn't have to be sold at that price. So then come to taxes. They didn't want to pay the tax, so they found loopholes to not pay the taxes, found loopholes how to get the businesses out of the United States. Then when they get back, they figure out a way to get money out of people. So now you're getting the money, saving money from the workers, saving money from not paying taxes. So it's not really going back into the economy and benefiting the economy that much. But then China, on the other hand, that government runs their country different. It's a communist country. They revisited the money. I said revisited. They reinvested the money. They put it back into the economy. They put it back into infrastructure. They put it back to their people. So you remember at the beginning when I first started talking about this, they called one of our officials here in America called the Chinese workers peasants. So when China, as a country, and their businesses started becoming more wealthy, and still was off a low labor, um, being able to sell a lot of products to America, that when their finances started going up, it wasn't just kept for the super rich. So I don't know if the government forced them to, but I know the government have different things set up to where the country benefits. So if you look at China, they have a lot of infrastructure things going on. The speed trains, the high speed trains, the buildings, the technology, the Wi-Fi, all sorts of stuff. A lot of stuff is light years ahead of us. How is that possible? Because when they, over these many years of different trade, they took their money, put it back into their economy. They took their money, put it back building different things, fixing different things, making things different, better, investing back into the country. But they didn't do that here. It's certain people that they just got wealthy, and the money, they just start gathering the money themselves and not sharing the wealth. So you see the difference. So now you can go look in America, see where a lot of stuff broken down, and we're behind a lot of countries, and then you go over there, they're ahead. Just look at it. Look at our cities. Look at our train system, and look at their cities. Look at their train system. Look at their technology. They look more advanced than we are over here. Certain things we are still more advanced, but still seem like as a whole, their country is moving forward. I forgot how many thousands of miles of high rail tracks they have built already, and we're still working on trying to get our first one, and it's still a couple of years away. So what happened? We was ahead. I think it's greed is a part of it. I think it's greed that a lot of people decided to keep it to themselves and not put it back into our society. Okay. Well, some social media posts started going viral saying there's a loophole in the tariff system. So they was telling people there is a way that you can get stuff without paying a tariff. And for a while, that was true. I thought, well, as of today, it is true, but not for long. So what are we talking about? Under the Tariff Act back in 1930, there is a part that was called de minimis. De, in other words, minimis, exemption. It says if you, in order for, um, um, if you ordering, how can I break it down? They had a exemption. So, like I said, this been in effect since 1930, where if you bought small products, a small amount of products from overseas, that different tariffs would not affect your purchases. So now, even today, as of today, right now, the middle of April, it was $800. Um, it's $800. So basically, if you bought products for under $800, you didn't have to pay for the tariffs. So that's what a lot of the Chinese manufacturers are on TikTok saying. So there's a loophole. I guess you could call it a loophole. It's not really a loophole. But if you still want like to buy products, first of all, you can get these products at cost at wholesale prices that's unbelievably cheap. So you're bypassing the markup, and then if you go and get it from that warehouse, you then don't have to pay the tariff as long as all your orders are less than $800. Don't have to pay the tariff. Sounds good, don't it? Sounds like a plan. Okay, yeah. So I think the United States was trying to look out for their citizens by making sure that we can still get stuff under $800 without a tariff. But what's happening? What's happening? Something's happening. Something happening. So yeah, I'm gonna just go back to that. So the Chinese people were telling Americans that's what you need to do. Just order directly from them. So they're actively putting their websites. So all these different Chinese websites that you've never heard of, but only the manufacturers are heard of. So the big companies, they will get online. These big companies will go up there and order these products wholesale. So a lot of Americans didn't even know anything about these websites. So so now they're getting on TikTok. Like, here's the website. Go directly to this website, and you can place your orders. And then instead of someplace in a time there used to be like you had to order like 1,000, 10,000 different units. And times like, nope. If you want to order from us, we're not gonna. You can have variable. You want one item, you can buy one item. Some things you can buy one item instead of the 10,000 that was required before. You can just buy one item. So all they're saying is you can order as much as you want, as long as it's under $800. You don't have to pay the tariff. So imagine you get to save money big time, and save on taxes. I saw this big gigantic warehouse. I mean, this thing was several city blocks long, and they were saying, you want to. They said, you want to start your own dollar store? You want to start your dollar store? All these things, everything was in there was 20 cents. It's like everything that you see in a dollar store here is 20 cents right now over there. So imagine they're paying 20 cents or probably even lower. They could be paying, imagine a lot of stuff in the dollar store is 10 cents and they were selling it for $1. But then they said they had to go up, and now a lot of our dollar stores are now they're $1.25. So if they're paying 25 cents for the product, they're making a $100. I'm sorry, they're making $1 profit on all those things. So now they're telling you, instead of you having to go to the dollar store and pay that 100%, no, that's 400%. Yeah, 400% increase. You can come straight there and buy from them. So they trying to know about the loophole. You can order stuff under $800 right now, but you know what? That loophole is getting shut down, and it's getting shut down real soon. An executive order has already been signed that starting on May 1st, that $800 exemption will end. Now you have to pay a 30% tariff or $25 per item, whichever is higher. That's on our Washington. What's the the White House? Sorry, that's on the White House website. That May 1st, those items that you was getting without a tariff, they're putting a 30% tariff on it. You got something too small. If it's like $20 tariff, no, they're gonna bump it up to $25. Then on June the 1st, that number jumps up to $50 per item. So that does that look like they're looking out for the American people? That's crazy. It's almost like they knew China would actually, or not would, they knew China wouldn't pay for the tariff, but they got on TV and say that they would. So it's a total different story. So they knew that China wasn't going to pay for the tariff, but then already had in mind how much we was going to pay. So my plan was to get me like a 30-second rant today, but I ended up digging, went down this rabbit hole and turned this thing into a whole episode. It's crazy. Because I just want to just hit that again. A lot of stuff that we're getting from these different websites with these not cheap prices. I know what I think Shein and Temu, maybe Amazon, Alibaba, different places like that. We was getting stuff for pretty cheap without all the extra tariffs, extra fees and everything. Now we have an executive order saying that you have to pay 30% tariff or 30% tariff starting May 1st. Let me get it right again. Okay, starting the tariff, the executive order has been signed. Okay, got that part down. That our exemption from the tariff is eliminated. So all the average Americans that benefited from the being exempt from the tariff, executive order has been signed to make sure that nobody is exempt. Nobody is exempt. So the Chinese they were telling us how to use a loophole to buy stuff directly from them. Don't have to pay the tariff. But we got an executive order signed that you can't do that. So in a way, it makes me feel like they knew that we was going to have to pay the tariffs. They knew that they was telling us on TV that we were not going to have to pay the tariff, but all along they knew we were, because when this thing was signed, when this executive order to get rid of our so-called loophole, that was signed in February. Way back in February, the executive order to get rid of our $800 exemption to buy products from overseas was signed in February. So now it's going into effect May 1st. Everything that's coming in, they're going to be a 30% tariff or a 25%. Not 25%. Oh, wait, what I say? It's going to be a 30% tariff on everything that you get in, or $25, whichever one is higher. And then June the 1st, the tariff is going even higher. So I don't even, why would an executive order already be signed for us to be paying a higher tariff in June if it wasn't part of the plan? So look like it doesn't matter what the other countries does. We still have to pay the tariff. So they know the tariff is going to the American people, not to other countries. So that's what the executive order was to us, not to these other countries. So on June the 1st, all Americans have to pay 30% tariff or $50 on each product. Depends on the greater number. So I don't see how that's benefiting the American people. like it's just feel like they just robbing and shaking us. It's like a shakedown. It's like you trying to shake down other people in other countries, and you trying to shake down your own people. It's crazy. I don't get it. So just a little recap. I've seen some new people pop in and pop out. So what I've been talking about is the tariffs and what China is doing in retaliation. So I was gonna make a little TikTok video, but I ended up had all this information that I wanted to give. So it showed the three things that China um, has started doing. So that the first one, so they put a tariff on their own people, but uh, I guess they really didn't care. So it's kind of the way I look at it as like, yeah, we America, we shooting tariff bullets all around the world, shooting at everybody, and China was like, okay, whatever. Okay, so now, all right, we can raise your tariff 75%. They was like, okay, we raise ours. We can raise it to 100%. They was like, okay, we'll raise ours. We can raise it to 150%. They was like, all right. It still didn't phase them. So one of the things that they did, one was they stopped protecting American goods over there in China from counterfeiting. China used to look out for America and try to prevent the counterfeiting. So now they said gloves are off. They're not going to protect America's products over there. The second thing they doing is um, spreading the tea. They are telling the tea. They're letting people know how many products that we think are made in Italy or how we think made in the United States. All these different products, especially these luxury items that we think that they was, that they was super, they should cost a whole lot. There's like no, a lot of these things made right here in China, they're made real cheap, and then these companies go back and add 1,000% the upcharge on that item. And so they're saying, so that now they're telling all the different companies, all these different companies are doing this product. They're coming over here, getting Chinese to do it, and then pretending that they're making it in other places. So not only that, is now they're giving us access to a lot of these products without having to go through the company. So, like I said, it was a loophole where Americans didn't. If it was a tariff in place, Americans did not have to pay the tariff as long as the product, everything that you got in, was less than $800. Long as it was less $800, nope, didn't have to worry about a tariff. So that's what the Chinese were saying. Okay, forget those different companies, forget the tariff, just come get it directly from us. Then they start sharing all these different those websites to those directly to the warehouse. That didn't happen before. A lot of that stuff was kept hidden from the average person. So now they putting all these different websites. Come to this website, order directly from us, and then instead of you having to order 10,000, you can just order one. So now it's like, okay, so that's how they dealing with the tariff. They figured out another way. They just what you call it, bobbing and weaving. Okay, you can send a tariff. There's another way to skin a cat. So they found that one way where Americans could order whatever you wanted, as long as it was under $800. You can go there and get all this stuff that was, you could buy different things. Products could have cost you $5,000. You could probably get it for under $800, and get it shipped back to the United States. So, like I said, back in February, somebody already thought about that and already signed an executive order to get rid of that ability to not pay a tariff on $800. So they already had a plan to get you. So just remember that date, May 1st, 30% tariff going on everything that you order from overseas. I guess that's what I need to dig into. Is it a tariff on everything that no matter where it comes in at? because y'all I don't know if you remember back in February they shut the UPS down. Not they stopped this shipping of packages from overseas. They were only shipping flat items and regular mail, and then they started back up again. So now it's probably going to start back up again when packages come from another country. I don't even know how this is going to work. They can give you a call. We got a package here, got your name on it. You got to pay your 30% or $25 to be able to get your package. So it's not coming to your house until you pay the tariff, which they said somebody else is going to pay for it. But nope, you're not going to get your product until you pay the tariff. And then, like I said, June the 1st, it's already been planned, it's already been established. Hey, but that's only May, June. That's only 1 month. That's only 1 month. I just thought about that. Anyway, yeah, May 1st, you got to pay 30% or $25. June 1st, 30% or $50. $50 per item being shipped in. So if you're really trying to order something, you really, really need it, and you don't want to deal with these tariffs, I think you need to go online and order it right now. Don't delay. So what do you do now? I don't know, but that's what I just said. I guess that was a good suggestion. Is if it's something that you need to order, go ahead and order it and pray it be in before May 1st. And then after May 1st, you just be prepared to pay the tariff, pay the extra fees. If you're a business owner, I don't know. I guess you just got to tell the people. I guess the people already, if they got to pay a tariff on their own, maybe it'll be a little bit cheaper if a bigger company probably can absorb it. We don't know. Don't know the numbers. I'm not an economist. I'm not an economist, so I don't know. But that's what stuff is changing so much that a lot of stuff that over the years you are playing this how things work. And I think we really was just starting to get used to how long when did Temu start? Yeah, I went for a long time. I wouldn't use Temu. Temu, Temu made me mad. I had just started. I started my online store. I put my products on my online store, and just did all this work getting my own store, my online store up and running and ready to go. And then I was launching it, going to start asking people to go to my store. Actually, it's still there. It's been dormant, but it's still there. I was like, yeah, we can get people to start going to my store. And then Temu came out, and all these people kept talking about all these free items they was getting. Like they got boxes and boxes of stuff for free. Like, how in the world do I compete with a site like that? How do you compete? I can have the cheapest prices as possible. I couldn't beat free. I couldn't beat just giving stuff away. Even especially, I just got the site up and running, trying to figure things out, and Temu going around giving stuff for free, and then Mr. or Mrs. Sheen came out with their cheap stuff. I just shook my head. I said, I don't know how you compete with that. I don't know how these other companies compete with it. But now, the tariffs are kicking in. But no, I'm about to say since the tariffs are coming, people can have a hard time getting things in without the tariff. But my products, probably the majority of the products that I had on my site was come directly from, China. So I don't know. I don't know what people are going to do. Especially people that's making a living off their online stores and stuff, and they're getting stuff from overseas, or people, different products that they sell, and they get a lot of it from overseas. Even the dollar store, I guess the $1.25 store, I think that got to be over now. If they can put tariffs on everything, and they got all they can do, they got to pass the savings or pass the increase on to the consumer. So there's no way that they can continue to. In a way, they still can because they're marketing some people. They're marketing their stuff so high that they probably can absorb. And that's what one guy I saw one guy saying that where um what did the guy say? Okay. I would tell the streets about this guy. He get these big metal boxes, and I forget what they're used for. But I know they use them all over the country. Some kind of it's a metal box and some kind of electrical, I don't know, storage. I'm sorry, I forgot what it was. But what they do anyway, they mount these boxes all throughout the country. So he knew that the tariffs was coming. So he was trying to find people in America to make it. So I think he's like, it's made in China, but everything exactly the way he needed made. They make it for like $50. And then when he kept searching, trying to find people in America to make this same product, he finally found one person, and they wanted to charge like $500 for one of the items, and then they wanted him to pre-order like 500 of the units. So he was like, "That's crazy. It's like it close to impossible to keep his business going that route." And then a lot of times they didn't know how to make the product. He gave them the diagrams and everything, and they still asking him questions on how to make it. Um, so it wasn't reliable. But then he said in China, instead of paying the $500 here, he could pay $50 over there, and they had it exactly the way he needed it, and it'll be shipped where they need it shipped, and it was $50. So he's saying $50 versus $500, and paying the tariff. It's still cheaper to pay the tariff, no matter what the tariff is. It's still cheaper to pay the tariff and get it from China than to try to find somebody in America to make it. So there may be a lot of people run into situations like that where it still might be still cheaper because they made the product so much cheaper over there that it might be just cheaper to go ahead and pay the tariffs. So the government, I guess they can be fair. The government is just money going to the government. Um, yeah, some stuff I just don't. Anyway, whatever. I don't. Whoever they have no idea what they're gonna do with that money that they're gonna be raking in from the American people, and then some people have no choice. Okay, so what do y'all think? What do y'all think about the tariffs? Are you prepared for them? Do you even understand what's going on with the tariffs? Anybody? Um, so yeah, the tariffs going to affect everybody, um, all walks of life. Every area. People, we buy things. We're not in a what's the word? We don't live in an island. I think some people kind of like feel like a lot of times that United States is an island. We do have some neighbors. We're not treating them like neighbors. We have neighbors to the north and to the south of us. But, a lot of other countries around the world, I think majority of the countries around the world, they have other countries, other people around them so they can see what else is going on other than just what's going on in their country. We're kind of landlocked. We're kind of like self-centered and just focused in on what's going on with us. We don't know what's going on in the rest of the world. So it's hard for us to have compassion. It's hard for us to still feel like we are a blessed country and we should be able to bless other people. So we get self-centered and we become selfish, and it's about me, mine, and ours, and don't care about anybody else. But these tariffs, it's going to affect everybody. School kids. Imagine the school, uniforms and shoes and clothes and different things that you need in the classroom, to your different jobs. Whatever job that you work on, it's probably more than likely is something that's coming in from China. And So it's going to affect a lot of people, a lot of things, and a lot of things may be delayed. Yeah, can you imagine? I think they said, oh, I forgot how many million. Oh, let's say between 1 million and 3 million products are shipped to America. I'm talking not the businesses. I mean, ordinary Joes. It's like over around 3 million products coming from overseas every day. So it's every day. Let's just go with 1 million. Every day, there's 1 million packages coming in from overseas. And now on May 1st, we're going to put a 30% tariff on those 1 million items. So that means somebody has to be the tariff collector, right? You feel me? But it's going into the post office. But the post office is cutting their people. So if they're cutting people and then they're adding an extra task that's going to require, instead of them it's coming into the United States, they check it out, they sniff it, and go ahead and put it on the conveyor belt and get it mailed out. Now somebody got to stay there and collect the tariff. I can't imagine seeing them do that. Your product gonna take weeks, probably even months before you get your product now. If you had to go through that product, waiting for people to be able to scan it and call you and collect the tariff before they put it back in the mail, and they shorthanded and all that. I don't know how that's gonna work. Really, I got to call my buddy that works at the post office tomorrow and see what he has to say about that. But yeah, change is coming. Change is coming. But I pray that it could. A lot of stuff can be reversed if people cared, if people had compassion about other people. But a lot of, I guess I shouldn't be. I guess it's my opinion. I think a lot of rich people, all they're concerned about is getting even richer. They don't care about other people. They don't really care about the country, and they care about themselves. They say country, but it's really themselves. But until people start being compassionate, being able to show and have love for their fellow man, I don't see too much changing. But there's got to be a change to come. Just remember, no matter what goes on, no matter what happens, you gonna make it. You're gonna be all right. You know what? I got to say, especially for the believers, especially for those who trust in our Heavenly Father, that would take care of us. So we're supposed to plan for the best, prepare for the worst. Whatever your plan is, whatever your God-given plan is, whatever your God-given gift is, continue to move forward with that, but still be watchful. So plan for the best. Continue to walk in your plan, but prepare, because you see a lot of different things are changing. A lot of different things are changing. We're seeing it, unfold right in front of our faces. So instead of just sitting there doing nothing, it's time for you to go ahead and prepare somewhat, get some kind of preparation, so you won't get caught off guard, won't get caught stuck in a bad situation. All right. Okay. So I hope you learned something about tariff tonight. So any questions, hit me up. So we can talk about it some more. I want to start getting people's feedback and see what y'all have to say about different situations, or even how it's affecting you, how it's affecting your business. So it's going to be affecting different people different ways. So all right. I pray everybody be blessed. Until next time, Lil Joe out.